gets old. It gets old, people. Okay, I'm on live. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't really like being on at this time of night. But again, I have to do a rebuttal to Mark Angelo Cummings again. I mean, when is this guy gonna stop, getting on my case? It's really pathetic. This time he made this passive aggressive video called, whatever it was, about Father's Day and not abandoning your children. It's like, so he paints me as my mom does, as an abandoner of children. And, oh, you had 5 kids. How dare you? It's like, okay, so it's Father's Day. Mark's never been a parent, right? Never been a father or a mother or whatever. He hasn't ever been anything. Just a talker. And he goes off on this rant about, parents, if you're going to have kids, make sure that you're there for them and don't leave them. And it's like, he starts saying stuff again. It's like, the other day, I said, Mark, if you stop, then I will stop. He just doesn't know how to just stop. My day was exciting. I had a great time. But I had to come back to this channel and talk about things that are not true again. So without further ado, I shall go back to his video and we shall listen, and I will rebut again what he has to say.
Good morning, guys. Happy Father's Day. I want to wish all dads an amazing day. I know it's hard work to be a father, to be the man of the house, to have the responsibility for a family, to make sure they're safe, to make sure they have everything they need. I believe that is what fathers sign up for, through thick to thin, no matter what, to be there to protect and love not only your wife, but those kids that you've created together with a woman you promised to be with the rest of your life.
Does this not sound passive aggressive or what?
In life, where people get divorced, many things happen, couples separate and all that, but there's never a separation or never a divorce between your kids, because you brought those kids to this world, and those kids are yours for the rest of your life to take care of. A good father puts himself second. A good father teaches and loves and never abandons their children.
Oh. Okay.
I know my dad tried. He was a good provider, but he had issues. One of those issues being an alcoholic. One of those issues being unable to express himself.
This is my business, right?
A lot of frustration. And alcohol is one of those things that it's not good for you and make you do terrible things. I've forgiven my father.
That's good. Can you move on from me now? You forgave your dad. Just move on from me. Leave me alone.
So that's why I say be so careful before you have children, because you're manipulating, you're creating, you're molding the life of these little individuals that later on become adults.
Yeah.
Later on have to deal with all sorts of problems and issues and continue the cycle.
Yep.
That block has to stop somewhere.
those of
our
you
fathers
who
and
are
children in
fathers
your
and
life,
children,
please remember that you're molding them, you're creating them, love them, teach them well, be kind to them. They're not your possession, they're a gift from God.
it's all well and good, right?
They should never be
These are
taken
all
lightly.
wonderful, nice things to say.
I worked today on Father's Day. I was supposed to be off, but the schedule got changed because
It's like, okay, he's just
that's what happened.
slamming me
One
in a
other person
passive-aggressive manner right now.
another employee to take place, so he was scheduled to work today. And because he's not there, they didn't hire somebody else. I got scheduled, so I was supposed to be off Sunday, Monday this week, and I'm not. I'm off now Monday, Tuesday. I'm extremely tired. Last night it was just me and an older lady who did the closing, and this is today'll be our third day doing the closing alone, her and I. And obviously, 60-year-old, I have to, end up doing.
That's how great. He's talking about himself. This is wonderful. This is good. We're going somewhere.
I didn't get out of there till 11 something because a lot of work. And I had to do it again today. So, but, it's life.
It's all positive. It's all good, right?
It's like, when are you coming home? And I said, I'm not coming back home. Not for now. This is where I have to be.
He's talking about himself.
I feel that.
This is good.
Has put me in the situation for a reason.
It's wonderful. He's chatting about himself.
Learn, go through, and I gladly will do whatever it is that I have to do.
So he's all good, right?
I'm gonna get up now.
Just want to say hi to Teen, my friend Teen over at YouTube, and Carrie and Amanda and Angela and Carmen.
Just doing stuff to wrap it up, start over again on Monday.
So it's great. We're just having a great time. He's talking about himself.
Push.
He passively aggressively uses the whole Father's Day thing to talk about me in a backhanded way.
Exercises, biceps.
But he's talking about his exercising.
Push days. I do chest, triceps.
It's all great. I'm cool with this. This is fine.
And calves.
Talk about yourself. Talk about your life. Talk about things that are happening in it. Be all, whatever you want to be.
Certain routines, the little circuit and stuff like that.
It's great.
In the initial pull push, I do heavy, low weight, low reps.
Yes, Yes. He's a gym junkie, right? 7 days a week. I was there with him. Everything.
Gosh, I'm so tired. It is what it is, And I have plans to, like I said, compete in a couple of years. So
That's great too. Compete away.
The training is helping out tremendously at work. I'm very strong now.
That's good.
And,
I'm happy for him. I think it's great.
feeling good, except, I am tired. But this too shall pass. My hands are, extremely sore from all the gripping and lifting and stuff that I have to do.
It's all great, right?
In the place, but it's all good training to get my dinky little forearms to become less dinky. So in 2 years' time, I'm hoping to see a lot of changes.
All right. We got through that, right?
I
That's great.
want to point
Stop the video now.
People are commenting.
Oh no.
About
Now it's going.
I've been a
Bang.
female bodybuilder that took all sorts of steroids.
He's talking about roid rage. I said that he was experiencing roid rage because he's obviously really
Therapeutic
upset.
doses that I'm on now, are claiming that I'm probably taking more. I'm not stupid.
I'm thinking that he's taking more because he's acting like an asshole.
I can get my
That's,
blood pressure up there to bust.
he's really acting like a jerk.
I'm not dumb. I'm taking supplementations like creatine, pre-workout drinks, glutamine, all sorts of stuff.
That's all good. But why put me into your
This is gonna get
conversation?
me there. I'm not going to put in my system more than I need to put in
Why
to hurt myself.
slam mean?
When I get agitated on video, it's because I'm rebuking some stupid allegations.
Allegations stupid?
And I'm only human, people. Yeah.
He's human, but he's an asshole is what he is.
Anybody could
He's a
put
human
themselves
asshole.
in my shoe.
Because he constantly has to go off on, you know, this is what I did. This is what I did today. Yeah, I went on a Harley today.
When a person
I went on a ride. No, I didn't go anywhere.
they've been really just, what's the word? I can't
Wow,
remember.
look at that. I had a great time, right?
It's
I
like,
had a great time.
for example, you go and you find a stray in the street or an injured bird or
Now he's comparing me to an injured bird that doesn't want to get healed by
picked it up.
the person that's squeezing the shit out of it. You know, because that's what he did. He squeezed the living shit out of me to the point where I couldn't handle being held by this brute that just didn't understand. You have to be gentle with those that you're.
Because you, for the first time, felt so
I
much
didn't go
love
for a
for
ride,
this little
but
creature.
my friend introduced me to his wife and his friend, and they were like, you know, hey, you want to check out my Harley? And I like went over there and he turned it on.
Held and loved,
I was like, yeah.
free, and able to now do the things that they weren't able to do before. And then just left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or didn't want to be,
Sorry. His BS video.
didn't want to provide the same kind of love that you were giving this little creature. There are feelings and things that go inside one's head and heart. But my father is one wise message to always give me when you see somebody down on the ground.
So anyway,
Help them.
he just like, he can't let go. It's like, can you let go of me, Mark? I mean, you don't own me anymore. I know that I still have your name, but you know, I'm trying to get rid of that, you know.
In that note, everything happens in life for a reason. I'm happy to be able to be working on me, to be able to.
That's all wonderful. But see, some people commented, right? And a friend of ours, mutual friend, her name is Lynn. I was mother and father to my son after I divorced his dad. Unfortunately, his dad disconnected, and I will never understand why. I understand that. We write on the wall of who a human will be when we mess up our kids. And she wrote, and Mark wrote, it's very sad when dads do that. There is no reason. A person signs up for a contract to have children. They must fulfill that contract and not just do what they need for themselves. You want to do anything in life? Don't have children. Simple. You belong to them, in my opinion. It's little people that grow up to be messed up adults because of it. So someone else writes, I don't see L as a woman. Sorry, he's a man. And AGP, as someone can leave their wife and 5 kids to supposedly transition, that is trash. However, I think L is abusive and manipulating as well, using his issues to cause trauma. Well, I wanted to address, you know, these allegations. You know, first of all, Fag Boy, I guess his name is, doesn't know me, doesn't know who I am, doesn't really it's never really spoken to me or anything. And Mark agreed. Mark said, Fag Boy, exactly, my friend. And then I was like, you know, here's a story with my kids. The story is this, and the simple truth of the matter is that this story is still open-ended and it has no ending yet. There's still a rosy picture on the other side of this screen. You know, I still believe that there is redemption and there is hope for me and my kids. You know, I had a great time, like I told you guys before, meeting up with my children, with my oldest, who's basically a gateway child. You know, like if I can reach into him and be able to get him to understand that I love them, then they will respect their older brother, and they will ask questions, and then they will, you know, kind of like gingerly, you know, make connections with me in the future as they get older, right? So I'm very hopeful, you know, because from the sounds of it, my son is very excited to have me back in his life and stuff. And I know he's busy and everything, and he's got a girlfriend, and you know, he's got his own life. He's working and stuff, but he took time off of his day to travel all the way from wherever he was, like 45 an hour away or 2 hours, to get on a train and to come see me. And he didn't have a problem with me, you know. And I think what he had a problem with was all the back and forth and everything. But my son, he kind of like cancels out everything that this dude is saying, you know, because I know that my kids are hurt from everything, but I don't think they've ever been explained the truth, and they have never really been able to understand my side of the story. And the truth is that I didn't just leave my 5 kids and my wife to transition, you know. I understood that they would never want this to be. So my wife told me that if I was to ever start taking hormones, that I could just count myself out as ever coming back inside the house. So I took that and I understood, you know. I mean, there was a point where she came in to the bathroom where I was at one day, soaking in the tub, and she looks at me and she says, "You know what? I think it's time for you to leave." And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's just time. I'm tired of dealing with this, you know, and with you. So I just want you to leave." And I said, "Okay, I'll make plans, you know." And so I did. I made plans and I moved. Yeah, Mark is very arrogant, and he thinks that my business is his business, and my children have never been his business. They've never wanted him around. I mean, they think of him as like the worst of the worst of any kind of human. So for Mark to go off and I mean, it's freaking Father's Day, right? It's Father's Day. So it's a day that, you know, he should just be talking about dads or something like that. But, you know, instead, you know, somebody else comments and says, "You are so passive aggressive and transparent." And he says, "LOL, tell me more about myself, Lena Peanut Gallery." Because anybody who supports me or is understanding my situation and stuff, or, you know, siding with me in any way, they're called the Peanut Gallery. Yeah, you guys are all the Peanut Gallery. And it's like, "Listen, troll," he says, "your words don't matter as you don't matter at all to me, so diagnose away." And someone else writes, "You're a dangerous man, Mark Cummings. You abuse all the trans women you've been with. You acted like a total sadomasochist with her. First, you took away her hormones, then her female clothes and accessories, and in the end, her food. I'm glad Lena made it out in time." And Mark responds, says, "She is lying. Go to her channel and watch some of her old videos. This is her MO. Everyone does things to her. She never takes responsibility." And said, "She is 5'11", strong-willed person, just Like she left her ex and 5 kids. She left James without telling him she was coming to be with me. She left Tony because he was needy, too needy and required assistance. She is a chronic liar and loves to blame others. Don't believe me. Do your homework, watch her old video and see the pattern. She is pissed off at me because I got tired of her manipulation and lies, and I called it quits. Please don't fall for the trans woman drama. They love to be seen as hapless victims. She did transition to get her kids back in her life, to go see her mother when we were traveling. She cut her hair and got rid of her female clothing. She's a freaking anorexic. Now I'm an anorexic. This is great. And wants to blame me? What she is an Ingrate, I guess. Called me Ingrid, like the name Ingrid. I put my life on hold to take care of a messed up person. I should send her packing a long time ago. What are you? If one of her chasers have at it. Once you're around her for a while, you will too understand why I could not be with her anymore. And then he plays the weaker card. All 5'4" inches of me, a person-born female, abuses autogynephiles whose fantasy is to feel a victim, right? Let's talk about the abuse she's done to her. 5 kids, abuse. Now I'm an abuser. Her wife of 17 years who she promised to be with till death do us part. Her 8-year-old who was 4 when Lena left does not have a father because he wanted to pursue his dreams of being a woman. Dude, do me a favor and F off my channel. So I wanted to address some of those things, you know. I wanted to address the fact that, you know, I don't manipulate, you know. If anything, I'm not an abandoner. But when a trans person is not allowed to have contact with their children, what are they supposed to do? You know, automatically they get painted as an abandoner or something, right? Because they can't interact with their kids. And it looks like, you know, from what it looked like, you know, when I left from Minnesota back in 2014, it looked like I just ran off to go become a girl or something. But the exact opposite was what was happening. I responsibly had a conversation with my wife at the time. And I said, you know, here's the deal. The opportunity for work has apparently showed up in Minnesota. It's a temporary offer. I'm not sure, you know, but I think I'm going to take it because it's, you know, what I think it was like a $7,500 job. So, in the TV business, you know, I used to make like $1,200 a day, you know, operating the jib camera that I had and myself, you know, renting it. And so, it was good money, right? But like when I lived in Tennessee after I transitioned, I lost my contacts in the Christian world, and for obvious reasons, right? The Southern Baptists were busy writing some transgender manifesto when they, you know, convened for a convention that year. So I was not going to be a person that they were going to be willing to work with. So I was proactive and I took my things, and my wife said, go, please, do what you need to do. Basically, you know, you're a freak, just leave. We don't want to have you around, kind of thing. So I was being responsible by moving to a place where I could support my family. Okay. I wasn't trying to run away from them. I wasn't trying to run away from the responsibility of being a provider for them, because I had been for their whole lives, practically, you know, from the time that they were born, from the time that I made vows with my then wife, you know. I mean, she stopped working and she was a stay-at-home, you know, housewife, and then became a stay-at-home mother. So, never had to work or anything. And I took it upon myself to do with the responsible thing. So I moved my equipment and my business to the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, where I had been working there before, and I wanted to reconnect with old contacts and everything. So whenever I worked, I sent her half of my paycheck. You know, if that's an abandoner, please let me know, because an abandoner just walks out the door, okay, and they don't want anything to do with helping out at all, and they just leave without anything. You know, they just go. So I left, you know, thanks Archimedia, a wig that abandoned his kids. Okay, he goes, you look like a man in a wig that abandoned his kids so he can wear a dress. Your kids have every right to be embarrassed about you. I would be so fucking self-centered. I mean, so you got haters like this, these people that come on and they say, you know, it could be a person that I've known before or something, but you know, it's really sad because these people are just being absolutely, you know, hurtful. You know, I don't really care what you think of me. I don't care if you think I'm a man in a wig. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me, you know. It doesn't, it really doesn't, you know. It's okay. You can feel the way you want to feel. It doesn't matter, you know. So anyway, it's like rude people like that. It's like they totally throw you off from being able to express and tell, you know, your story. But, you know, in the process of everything, my business was flourishing now out of Minneapolis. So my kids are living in Nashville. I'm living in Minneapolis, and I'm not able to talk to them much at all. I'm not given the opportunity to do anything with them. The opportunity that I had to go visit them, you know, was taken away from me by my wife at the time, you know, back in December. And that's the reason why I even went out to Silver City, New Mexico, you know, was because that was something that I was devastated. I was hurt, you know, and I wanted to, you know, find somebody to accept me, you know, whatever, right? So I went out there. And, but I don't abandon people. My door's always been open for my kids. They've always been welcome to talk to me and to share and do whatever, you know. But you know, I just feel like I'm totally being misrepresented at this point. Mark goes on to say, you know, that I left James without telling him. James was my boyfriend from June to like August of that year of 2014, and then from October to December of that year. And James and I had been in an accident prior to that point, and he was driving and he kind of let the car slide into a snow embankment and stuff, and he wasn't responsible. So, but prior to that, James and I were trying to get an apartment together. James pretty much kind of lied about, you know, that he had been in an apartment where we were going to lease, and they had actually evicted him there. So the lease agent calls me and says, Lena, I don't think we can approve you two for the apartment because James has been evicted from there in the past. And I was like, oh God, you know, so he's not being honest with me. So I'm like thinking, this relationship is not going to go anywhere because, you know, it's a relationship that has no future, right? So it's not that when I left from Minnesota, I felt bad, you know. You could just have taken up theater to dress as a woman rather than disrupt the life of your kids. I appreciate that Archimedean eye or whatever, but I am a trans woman. And whether you see me with a man face or whether you see me whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me at all what you think, because I am a strong person and I know that I'm a beautiful person inside. So there's nothing that you can say or do to me to hurt me, because I know that I'm a good person. People that have watched this channel, they know. You guys know I'm a good person. So it's not about wearing a dress, and it's not about being self-centered. You know, it's not about that at all. It's about finding peace within yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love others. You know, it's not Jesus, others, and then you. It's you stemming from that love that grows inside of you, and to love others from that. My kids aren't embarrassed by me, though. That's the thing. You are so wrong, because I saw my son, and my son gives me the okay to be me. So if you think that, some anonymous, person like you can like speak into my life as if you know me or something, you're wrong, because I spoke to my son a month ago. Oh yeah, dad in a wig, whatever. I don't always wear a wig, but I had to cut my hair. Okay. And there are women out there that have alopecia, that have to wear a wig, and Black women wear wigs all the time. So please get out of here with all your nasty, hurtful conversation and stuff. It's like, what is your deal? It's like a troll is a troll. So if you want to remain, I wouldn't be saying all this stuff anymore, because if you want to get X'd off of here really quick, no, it's not a huge gamble for my happiness, because I'm happy. And you know what? My kids are going to be just fine. I have 2 kids that are going to a really nice, prestigious college, and whatever I did didn't affect them one bit, because they are living their lives, and they are doing what they are supposed to do. And I don't know if what happened has made them stronger and given them that ability to conquer things in life that they wouldn't have had the backbone for. But it's like, I am the same person, and my door has always been open for my kids. So you can say whatever you want to say about man in a wig and stuff like that, but you know what? That's not my lived experience, honestly. I don't get, oh my God, that's a man in a wig. I mean, literally, I don't get that. So I don't get what you're saying, because I don't get that personally myself. I get a lot of other things, So you can just troll away and go back in your little cave where you came from, where you live in that pot of negativity, and just, leave me alone. It's bad enough to have to deal with a jerk of a husband, So anyway, Mark's like, she left Tony because Tony was needy, and stuff. James, I've already explained. James was like a dead-end relationship. Well, Tony was a person that I also didn't feel that I was going to be able to be with for the rest of my life, So, people date people, and then they break up, and that's what happened with James, and that's what happened with Tony. It's not about, oh, once I found James that I was going to stay with him. I didn't tell him that I was coming to be with Mark. I just went down to New Mexico. I didn't want James to like have to deal with heartbreak, and like be like, Lena, don't do this. And it was like, I told James, over the phone, we talked about it, but that's a matter of my business. And there's really no reason that Mark should be airing my business on social media. And with Tony, it's like, Tony was a relationship that happened, and then it went away, And so Mark says, She is a chronic liar and loves to blame others. Don't believe me. Do your homework. Watch her old video and see the pattern. She's pissed off at me because I got tired of her manipulation and lies and called it quits. No, Mark, again, I got tired of your control and your demeaningness to my person. That is what basically ended our relationship. You know, you never saw me and you didn't care to. And you controlled the shit out of me. So I didn't want to be around a person who is so controlling, you know? I mean, being around a person who's that controlling, you know, is just, no, I am wrong though, Archimedean. I am wrong. I make mistakes and I own up to them. I really do. I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes. Where do you get off saying that? And if you do have a problem with me, why don't you ask me in a personal message and we can talk about it? Because I'd be willing to talk about it openly with you. If that's, you know, give me your phone number. We can chat, you know, or whatever. But don't come into this channel all hidden out and stuff and just throwing bombs out about me. You don't know me, you know? And if I was a man in a wig, don't you think I'd be laughed at everywhere I went? I don't. I really don't. The guy I was with just the other day, you know, this guy that I hung out with today, he's like totally cool with me. I mean, he's like, Lena, I just see you as a woman and I don't understand why your husband is being such an asshole to you. I mean, it's like, you know, whatever you're saying, my lived experience is so different from what you're saying that it is what it is, you know. So I don't really have much to say about that, you know, because it's like, you know, either your kids accept you or they have to wait in order to figure out how they feel about you and stuff. And so Mark calls me an anorexic, you know. It's like, I am not an anorexic. I just had some chips and salsa, you know, and I, you know, I've had steak, I've had other food and stuff like that. Now my eating habits are different, yeah, than they used to be. And but I don't feel like I'm being anorexic at all. Yeah, teen, you helped raise them in a very loving way. I know you sowed good seeds and laid a good foundation for them to build their lives on. Your children have a great father. Yeah, I mean, my son, he testifies to that entirely. He's like, you were a great dad. I love you. I love that, you know, you have helped me become the man that I am today because of you and the things that you've taught me. So I see these people just like, you know, throwing bombs out there. And it's like, you people don't know or are ignorant, or you're listening to too much Mark Angelo Cummings lies or something. Because every time Mark comes on, he can't help it but to talk about me, you know. And then he talks about, oh yes, I'm so small and my little hands and my little feet, you know. And it's like, you know, you know, I was never like aggressive towards Mark. Mark was always like totally over the top aggressive with me. And like I said, he'd pin me to the bed and I couldn't get out and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, Lena's, you know, 5'11" and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, it gets old, Mark. It really does. It gets old. You know, I'd rather talk about what I did today than to talk about what I didn't do. You know, I went to my friend's house and we hung out, and you know, I had fun like this, you know? I mean, I was having a good time. Um, People don't, he told them I was trans, you know, but his friends welcomed me. They were super nice. I had a great time. I was invited for the 4th of July. I mean, people are like being super nice to me. And, you know, Ron, the guy, long haired Ron, he's like, Lena, you should just say to these people, fuck off, leave me alone, and I'm fine. Go live your life because I'm living mine, you know? And, you know, he's like, Lena, you did what you did. You're beautiful inside and out, and you don't have to apologize for anything. You just go live your life now and forget about all the negative people. Forget about those people that want to knock you down and tell you this and that. Like this person says, oh, you're a man in a wig. Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, let's just hurt the tranny. I don't really care because, I mean, I don't know. I'm very happy with where I'm at. So, you know, whatever you want to say is you're on you. You know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, you know. But I can't change your mind, you know. Turning gay and becoming a tranny after having 5 kids is an example of perfect parenting. You know, it's sarcasm is what it is. So what's your real name there, Archimedean I? I mean, are you somebody that I know? I mean, are you another one of those mean Christian people that I've encountered all my life? Or, you know, but, you know, it's, you must not understand how gender identity works because, you know, we're screwed over whether we transition or not because, you know, if we do it too late, you know, that we've like already created our families and stuff like that. And, you know, Mark says, oh, if you ever transition you know, consider transitioning after you have children and have a family and a wife and blah, 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 then you should never, ever do it. And it's like, do you understand that we're trying not to do it? You know, we're trying to hold everything together. And there comes a point in our lives when we cannot hold it together anymore. And it becomes impossible to do what we were doing for me for 17 years. You know, I think it's better for the kids after they grow up too, but given the opportunity, you know, that's all well and good. But sometimes it just becomes necessary to do what you need to do. Or you would not be here, you know, afterwards. You may not be around because you might not even make it to that age, you know, where it's better after the kids grow up. Because this is something, an identity issue that affects you in such a massive way that it needs to be addressed. And if you think that you can just sit around years, you know, some people can, but in my case, I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't imagine myself at 60 deciding to transition. You know, I mean, I had to do it when I did it. And, you know, it's, you know, you don't have to understand it, you know, and everything. But I was working towards having the children becoming a part of my life, regardless, you know. Now, it's awkward. I know. It's hard. I know. It is. It is very hard. The trans issue is hard for America to deal with, and the world's, you know, dealing with it. But, you know, it's something that can be dealt with in a way that's compassionate and loving, not in the hurtful way. 5 kids did not keep you busy enough. Well, I worked, so I was working to support those 5 children, as you know, I should be doing, you know, but my injury, and that's another thing, my injury which is not a play on words. I mean, if you guys notice, my shoulder always sags, you know, because my injury doesn't allow me to keep my shoulders square. And there's always a pressure like on my shoulder. So I don't really talk about it because I don't like to complain about it and stuff, or the pain and stuff. But I mean, I'm definitely not where I was. And I don't know. Have you seen my accident? Have you seen what happened to me? Because if you haven't, you should check it out. It was pretty bad stuff. A person that went through something like that shouldn't have survived it. You know, I'm a miracle. I know I'm a miracle. And I'm grateful to be alive. You know, I'm grateful that I've been given a second chance at life, you know, because I was left for dead, basically left for dead. And I was there, but I was in serious trouble, you know. Have you seen the pictures at all? 'Cause they're bad. They are bad. I mean, who survives when you're, I mean, when your car looks like that, okay, that is the front seat, you know, that's my driver's side. And that is where I was in the car at the time. I mean, the other side is where I was sitting in the car. This car is unrecognizable. You know, I have to tell people, oh, it's an Element. They're like, what kind of car is that? I mean, it turned into a sardine can, you know. I mean, people don't survive falls like this, you know, where the roadside is up here and your car rolls all the way down there. You just don't survive that. So people can say whatever they want to about me not being injured, not being hurt. But you know, when you survive some shit like this, like that, where your car is totaled and you're like totaled, you know, there is no reason that I should even be alive right now. None. No, I did not try to end it all. I mean, why would I do that? It's so stupid. I was on my way to visit Mark, and I know I didn't Thelma and Louise myself over the mountaintop. What I did do was take my eyes off the road in a very immature and foolish manner, and ended up feeling gravel and going, oh my God, I'm going to die this way. But no, why would I want to roll my car off the road? I mean, for you to insinuate that has got to be like a sign of like, are you using your brain right now? Because I don't know anybody who would want to roll their car off of an 8,000 foot high mountain peak. I mean, I don't get it. But why would I want to do that? So anyway, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to live. That's why I survived it, you know, because I rolled my car down that mountainside and broke my bones, broke 3 bones in my neck, stayed down there for like 17 hours. I mean, and miraculously, someone showed up and I yelled out, and they were like up there, a couple of cars that parked in a place that never should have any cars parking there, but they happened to meet there. And then they came down and got me help, and then they called the snowplow, and the snowplow called the emergency rescue people, and I was pulled out of there with like a pulley system and a gurney and everything. It was like a massive event. So my injuries are real, okay? I live with them. I don't know what Mark is thinking, that I don't have any injuries anymore. I am coddled together with scar tissue. My C1, C3, C4, and my T7 are scar tissue. And when I move my neck, he can't hear it, but I can. I hear crunching every time. Do you have crunching at all on yours? Because when I tilt my head up and down, I can feel crunching, you know. I don't know how that's going to play out as I get older, you know. But all I do know is that people, you know, like me, may progressively get worse as they age. You know, right now I'm trying to take care of myself by eating right, trying not to stress, and, you know, doing things that are able to give me health and vitality and stuff like that. So I work out to keep my bones healthy, and you know, I do some weights and things like that to keep my bones from getting osteoporosis and stuff. But I mean, it's like I am always available for my kids. I have always made myself available for my kids. And the thing is, the crazy thing is this. Last year, I decided to do transition with Mark and stuff. So I walk over to Mark and I say, you know, I don't think we can continue living as we are. Let's detransition, because, you know, it's the only hope we have, right? So he obliges and stuff, and I trim his berry back, you know, and stuff like that. And then I go and get my hair cut. So if I'm wearing a wig, it's because I don't like my hair as it is now. But you know, it's all good. You know, it's all good. I don't know. What did he say? Gaining employment for trans women can be tough. So maybe you got lucky with the accident and disability in some ways. Yeah, I mean, in the regards of like employment, I had no problem with employment. I was making, like I said, $1,200 a day, working in sports television and in broadcast television, doing sports entertainment shows, videos. My opportunities were not going away. They were growing, you know, so I didn't have a problem money-wise. I was doing fine and dandy. And when the accident happened, it cut every opportunity for financial employment down completely. So I didn't have anything. And, you know, and now living on what I live on now is very, very meager. And not at all what I'm used to at all. You know, I just, you know, I was successful. I had a good business, you know, I had an LLC and made good money, had lots of clients. And, you know, so I ended up in a place in life that was not, was a scary place. You know, I didn't know if I was going to walk. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. But, you know, Mark just rants on in this video and talks about me being an abandoner and stuff. And it's just like, what she is an ingrate, I guess, not Ingrid. An ingrate, I put my life on hold to take care of a messed up person. I should have sent her packing a long time ago. And, you know, here's the thing with Mark. Mark always wants to find a way to make himself to be the savior of the world. You know, he talks about it, that he's a healer and stuff. I just heard about a wonderful health benefit of raising the head of your bed 6 to 7 inches. I'm going to put some bricks down and try it. Yeah, maybe it's all right. So what was I going to say? Now I got thrown off. I'm sorry. But so Rich and Lean Presta, my friend, said, Lena, I fractured my C1 at a 45-degree angle in my freshman year of high school. I should be either dead long ago or in a wheelchair, but I too am a miracle. Yes. I haven't really met many people who survived a C1 fracture, but according to my doctor, there are not many people who survive a C1 fracture. That, for people that don't know that, you know, that is the bone that, you know, that connects the brain to the neck. So it's like, it's where your head pivots and swivels, you know. And Mark thinks that because that's compromised on my body, that now that I can, you know, move it and it healed better, that I'm all of a sudden just out of the woods and stuff. But the fact is that I am a whiplash away from being a quadriplegic. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter. That bone is compromised for life. It doesn't ever like get better, you know. But you know, the thing is, he put his life on pause, you know. He says that he put his life on pause for me, and he does all these things for me. But I just understand that he stopped working in 2013 and, you know, was living, you know, in his RV, in his little life and stuff like that. And he was doing his own thing. And then I came along, and then he found a way, you know, and it may sound a little self-serving, I don't know, but he found a way to be needed, because he was like basically an alcoholic, you know, drinking every day and just hanging out in his RV and just, you know, closed off to the world basically. But, you know, living in a little town and stuff like that. So when I came along, it's like I gave him like meaning and worth and, you know, somebody to help. And, you know, but what I didn't know though with Mark is that it was going to come with a huge cost. Like, I'll fix you, but don't ever forget that I did it. You know, I'll come to your aid and stuff, but don't ever forget that I was the one that did it. So you owe me, right? So I felt like I owed Mark. I owed him my life. I owed him my faithfulness. I owed him everything. So that's why I easily married him, because I thought, I mean, who better than this person who showed me so much love at a time of so much hurt and so much need, you know. But, you know, I just didn't understand that he was going to take everything and just twist it, like twist into some ugly, negative imagery that all it does is discourage and hurt and maim people. You know, it's absolutely mean and so unnecessary. So unnecessary. I will not go on my channel and do a video that is inciting him to get upset. I only do videos to counter what he said. That's it. I don't like today. I didn't even put out a video about him at all. You know, for what? It doesn't serve any purpose, you know, at all. But for him, it's like he finds that it's important for him to demean me, to call me a liar. Now he's calling me an anorexic. What's next, Mark? What are you going to call me after that? You know, he misgenders me, uses the he pronoun when I'm clearly transgender, and that's a clear offense to our, you know, right to be addressed as who we are, because we paid a huge price to get here, and we deserve to be respected for who we are. But, you know, he doesn't want to respect people. He thinks that it's his way or the highway, you know. So I just, you know, I look at the people that I'm hanging out with now. Did you think that you would be like this at this time in your life? Mark would be like this. I see Mark as a person who loves to be in the center of controversy. So it doesn't surprise me that Mark's this way. It doesn't surprise me one bit, because you know, it's his MO. It's his deal. So, but I just wanted to rebut these things because he's like, so hurtful. I don't know. He's going to continue ranting and raving, and it lasted like 15 minutes. So we're 10 minutes in.
Learn more about the human condition and grow as an evolving spirit. We all, fall in for our stuff as humans. I turned 54 in 2 weeks or so. I get wiser with each passing day.
He gets wiser? Is that what he's calling it? Because I feel like he's getting dumber.
Biggest teacher. The universe is our biggest university. And it's all good, folks. It's all good. It really is. This is Cyrus. It's my father. He has to be in a hospital or...
Oh, I want to get away from him.
Anyway, guys, I love you.
Do what I can.
Maintain my little bald head. Drink my little drink.
Oh, you really have been trying to chat with me? I'll look you up. Hold on.
One more closing. It's brutal. The shift that I have, the closing shift is very hard. I spoke to my supervisor yesterday. They're hoping to hire some new people.
Richelene.
I'm happy for another month that they do, so I can get transferred to the department, so it's a lot easier. Because this old man does not like to deal with all the stuff I have to deal with there. I'm hoping to
That's weird. It shows that you're my friend.
not have to do this hard labor for a long time. I'm looking at other possibilities with Walmart, the optical department, or
Oh no,
the
it
pharmacy.
shows that you're my friend.
Since I am already a medical professional, so and to keep my eyes out for other things, and apply for other positions. I am open, willing, and available. It's something inside of you. Something. I love you, my haters, the ones that don't even know me, but gosh, you love to just make all sorts of assumptions.
The funny thing is that he knows me, right? But he keeps on making assumptions about me that aren't true, So it doesn't matter that he's been with me for 3.5 years. He makes assumptions about me that are not true. So he misrepresents me and demeans my character, and it's unnecessary, and it's really crude. It makes him look like a real jerk. It really does, because I'm moving forward and I'm happy, and I'm able to grow now, and I'm really kind of thriving here. So I see what's happening, and I look at what he's doing, and I'm like, dude, find a way to get out of the negativity and move on. Start getting healed for yourself and stuff. Start, living your life the way it's supposed to be lived. Don't constantly be bitching about things, It's unnecessary, I think he's really hurting himself and his reputation by insisting on, throwing me under the bus, And I'm not going to throw him under the bus. I mean, I don't do that to people. So if that's what he wants to do with me, you guys can see my old videos. Like he says, watch Linda's old videos. Yeah, watch my old videos and see how I felt back then. See if I'm very much different from the person that I was back then. And a lot of people would say no. A lot of people would say you were different when you were with Mark. You were different when you were hanging out with him, when you married him and stuff. It's like your countenance changed, your personality changed, your like whole demeanor on life changed. You know, it was like, you know, it was tough. It was really tough. So now I can do those things, and it doesn't bother me one bit, you know, but I don't know. I better get going. I'm rambling at this point, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So I've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode, and I hope that Mark, please move on already. Okay? Okay? Just move on. I don't want to continue to rebut your silly lies against me. Just move on. You know, it's so unnecessary. You know, you're 54. Act your age. You know, act your age. Anyway, I love you guys, and thanks for watching. And I'm looking forward to a beautiful day tomorrow and a wonderful time. And hopefully, I won't have to rebut anything. You know, hopefully, he can just get the clue and finally just leave me alone. Right? Just leave me alone. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Sounds good, Amanda.